So today we'll talk about osteomyelitis. Now, osteomyelitis is literally infection of the bone, right? There can be a number of systemic infections that are spreading to the bone, something like enteric fever or actinomycosis, or it can be mycetoma, syphilis, tuberculosis. All of these can lead to osteomyelitis. So we have enteric fever is basically dengue. Enteric fever, there is actinomycosis. Some patients will have mycetoma, bacterial or fungal. It can be syphilis, TB, and brucellosis. Any of these conditions, whenever they lead to what do you call, they reach the bone, they will cause osteomyelitis, right? Causing infection of the bone. Now, one of the main common types of, you will have several types of osteomyelitis. We'll discuss two main types of osteomyelitis. One is pyogenic osteomyelitis, and the other is tuberculous osteomyelitis. Now, coming to the first one, pyogenic osteomyelitis, it is also called suppurative osteomyelitis because you have pus formation and you have suppuration occurring in that area, mainly caused due to bacterial infection. You will have pyogenic bacteria like streptococci. Most common bacteria that causes pyogenic osteomyelitis, infective type, suppurative type of osteomyelitis, pyogenic or suppurative, pus forming basically osteomyelitis. Okay. Most common cause will be Staph aureus. One second. Yeah. So the most common cause is Staph aureus. Sometimes it can also be caused by streptococci, E. coli, Kleb, Klebsiella, Pseudomonas, and a few anaerobes. Pseudomonas, anaerobes. So Bacteroid fragilis and all of those anaerobic bacteria can lead to this. In any case, what happens in this is bacteria will come into your blood. There'll be a systemic infection, and from systemic infection, it is entering into your blood, and hematogenously, it will reach your long bones. Generally, in young children or infants, somewhere between 5 to 15-year-old, those people will be specifically affected, especially those of in developing countries. Okay, उन लोगों के अंदर जो लॉन्ग बोन्स रहते हैं, दो those bones will get affected by pyogenic osteomyelitis. All right, but sometimes it can be a complication in other condition. So अगर directly हो रहा, तो it will mostly occur in infants or young children, 5 to 15 year olds of long bones. It can occur as a complication as well. Complication किसमें होता? For example, patient who are having compound fractures. ठीक है, this can occur at any age अगर complication के वैसा हो रहा osteomyelitis. So anyone who has what you call compound fractures, or someone who is undergoing surgical procedures, especially surgical procedures involving prosthesis, ठीक है, prosthesis or implants. Prosthetics are those, अब समझो किसी का, for example, let's suppose someone's legs gets detached or gets broken off, gets shattered in an accident or something like that. You will replace it with a different leg, right? You will make it a make a wooden or a what you call plastic leg, and you will attach it to the previous leg, to the stump basically. वो attach कर रहे जब, या फिर if you're adding some implants in the bone. Okay, if you're trying to fix a fracture surgically, if you're trying to put nails and screws inside the bone so that you can set it right, वो करने में. Or else it can occur as a complication in diabetics. In diabetics, what will happen is there can be gangrene of limbs, especially peripheral limbs. So limbs से ज़्यादा I would say periphery of the limb. So toes and fingers, उन लोगों की gangrene अगर हुई, that can lead to osteomyelitis or immunosuppression. All of these are complications wherein they are leading to osteomyelitis. So primarily in in infants and young adults or young children, I would say, somewhere around teenage, 5 to 15-year old, affects long bones. Okay, this is occurring in developing countries. Agar if it is secondary, in the sense that occurring as a complication, if it occurs as a complication, it might be due to uh, compound fractures. So complication associated with these fractures, it can be surgical procedures. Okay, surgical procedures specifically involving prosthetics or implants. Okay, either way, it can be foot gangrene or limb gangrene in diabetes mellitus, or any other type of diabetes as well. It can be due to immunosuppression. Okay, all of these are causes that can secondary causes that can lead to osteomyelitis, specifically pyogenic or suppurative kind of osteomyelitis. Now, the pathological changes that you see will occur in a sequence. Okay, I'll draw that sequence as a flow chart. If you want, you can copy it down. In any case, pathologic changes. Okay, so infection will begin around your metaphyseal plate. ठीक है, at the metaphyseal end वहां से infection start होता and it will start going towards the marrow. Okay, and you will see a lot of pus being formed. It is going towards the result where pus is being formed. So infection begins at the metaphyseal end. Okay, I hope you remember the different parts of your bone. What is diaphysium, metaphysium, epiphysium? Okay, metaphyseal end is the first step. You will have pus being formed. Near the metaphyseal plate, you will have metaphyseal end. You will have a lot of pus being formed. यहाँ से क्या होता? Now, because pus is being present, this will increase the tension inside the bone, okay, especially inside the marrow cavity. Due to increased amount of pus, it will increase the tension as well, and this will start spreading the infection into the marrow cavity, specifically causing periostitis. So the periosteum will start having inflammatory changes. All right. Now, whenever pus is present, you know that pus is indicative. Generally, pus is indicative, especially in this case, it is indicative of a bacterial infection. अगर pus में bacteria है, it will start spreading to the surrounding areas. Especially, it will start spreading in the marrow cavity and the surrounding structures, leading to one of the first signs that you see is periosteitis. Okay, inflammation of the periosteum. So यहाँ पर क्या होता? Infection spreads along the marrow cavity, leading to periosteitis. ठीक है? That is the second step. Now, uh, sometimes what will happen is, along with periosteitis, this will reach the subperiosteal spaces, so directly under the periosteum, and it might start forming abscesses. Specifically, subperiosteal abscesses can be seen. So, यहाँ से subperiosteal abscesses. ठीक है, अभी क्या हो रहा, इन्फेक्शन स्टार्ट हो रहा बोन में, स्पेसिफिकली एट द मेटाफाइसियल एंड, इट स्टार्ट स्प्रेडिंग इनटू द बोन एंड अराउंड द बोन. ठीक है, द फर्स्ट थिंग इट विल डू इज इट विल स्टार्ट कॉजिंग इन्फेक्शन, द spread of infection, spread of pus through which infection spreads will go to your periosteum, causing periosteitis. Directly under periosteum will be subperiosteal layer that will get affected, where you will start seeing abscesses. Okay, now you will have an area where there is combination of suppuration, so there is pus formation, and in that area, because there is so much pus being formed, blood supply will get impaired. Okay, small blood vessels that are coming into bone, those will get compressed and those will not be able to supply blood properly to the cortex of the bone. Okay, cortical bone will undergo fracture necrosis. The cortex part of the bone, that will have necrosis, fracture necrosis bolte हैं. That particular stage is called sequestrum. Okay, so यहाँ पर क्या हो रहा, suppuration plus impaired blood supply, ठीक है, to cortical bone leads to cortex necrosis or fracture necrosis of cortex. This is the bone cortex. Okay, this is called sequestrum. I'll show you an image what is sequestrum and the next stage as well. You will have another stage after sequestrum. Okay. Now, as this suppuration continues, as time goes by, what will happen is, to surround the whole of the sequestrum, a new sheet of bone is formed. Okay, underneath your periosteum, a new bone sheet will start being formed, and that will be present over the infected bone. So it will literally envelop the infected part of the bone. So periosteum है, उसके अंदर subosteal abscesses start हो रहे, उसके अंदर you have pus being collected. Now that pus which is collected, because of the increased amount of pressure, it will impair blood supply, leading to fracture necrosis. That whole necrotic area, the whole suppurative area, uske atraf, the surrounding layer around that, you will have new bone being formed. Literally, osteoneogenesis will occur. New osteogenesis will occur. And that sheet which is formed around the necrosed bone, it will be called involucrum. So, as time goes by, a new sheet of bone is formed around the okay, present directly above the infected bone, which will encase area and is called involucrum. ठीक है, अब देखो, I'll show you one image how it looks like. ये देखो, सो इनिशियली पेरियोस्टियम ये है, उसके अंदर आपके मारो कैविटी के पास, कॉर्टेक्स के एरिया के पास इनिशियल साइट ऑफ इन्फेक्शन हो रहा, वो एब्सेस की वजह से स्प्रेड हो रहा, प्रेशर बढ़ा रहा, एंड इट इज स्टार्टिंग टू ब्लॉक ब्लड सप्लाई. Slowly it will start blocking blood supply and you will have subperiosteal abscesses being formed. Now as time goes by, you can see that initially there is sequestrum being formed. Eventually around that sequestrum you will have a layer of bone being formed. So you can see here involucrum, new bone formation is occurring, and sometimes pus will start leaking out. Okay, we'll discuss that as well. But यहाँ पर क्या हो रहा, you will initially have sequestrum, which is the dead bone inside, necrosed area, and around that, this is, as you can see, in the cortex of the bone, this इसके around new bone will start being formed, enveloping that necrosed area, which is called involucrum. Right. अब यहाँ पर क्या होता, if it goes on for a day, very long period of time, long continuous new osteogenesis will lead to a sclerotic pattern. Okay, sclerosis, sclerotic type of osteomyelitis will occur. That sclerosing type of osteomyelitis will be called chronic sclerosing non-suppurative osteomyelitis of Gar. ठीक है, तो as this new osteogenesis goes on, if new osteogenesis is literally formation of new bone. Genesis continues. it leads to sclerotic pattern osteomyelitis. ठीक है, this is called chronic sclerosing non-suppurative the new bone does not have suppuration. ठीक है, inside the bone there might be suppuration, matlab it might encase a suppurative area where necrosis has occurred and all of that, but the new bone itself will not have pus. That is why it is non-suppurative. Please don't get confused thinking that there is no suppuration altogether. That it is inside the bone. Sequestrum hai necrosed area mein, but the new bone that is being formed, that does not have any pus. That is why, and it will have a sclerotic pattern because it is going on for a long period of time. Usko chronic bol rahe, because it is sclerosing, sclerotic type, usko sclerosing bol rahe, because that bone is does not have any pus. It is non-suppurative osteomyelitis of Gar. Okay. Now, occasionally, this is the sequence. Okay, how pyogenic osteomyelitis will continue. Now, occasionally, what will happen is acute osteomyelitis will have certain local areas where fibrous tissue and granulation tissue will surround this what you call area of necrosis. So, यहाँ पर क्या हो रहा? We have bone that is being formed, right? Now, instead of bone, acute osteomyelitis में sometimes it will form a fibrous tissue layer. Okay, it will be walled off by fibrous tissue and granulation tissue. That is called a Brody's abscess. Okay, those are special structures. You can have Brody's abscess, or sometimes if vertebral osteomyelitis occurs, your infection will begin at the disc and it will spread to vertebral bodies. That is a different types of osteomyelitis. In any case, there can be different sequences to what is happening, but this is the general sequence. Agar osteomyelitis goes on for a long period of time, initially at the metaphyseal end there will be infection. It will go to where pus is being formed. It will go to marrow cavity where it is increasing pressure because of increased amount of pus, and ultimately leading to periosteitis, inflammation of your periosteum. Then directly under periosteum, you'll be able to see abscesses being formed, subperiosteal abscesses. Okay, as the vertical infection reaches this subperiosteal space. Ultimately, along with suppuration, because there is so much pus being formed, blood supply gets impaired, and the cortex of that bone, it will have fracture necrosis. That particular step is, or that particular stage is called sequestrum. As time goes by, sequestrum will get enveloped by a new sheet of bone. Okay, bone will start forming around that sequestrum. That is called involucrum. Okay, it will encase the necrosed area. Now, if new osteogenesis, this new bone formation continues, it will lead to a sclerotic pattern. So there will be sclerosis in that area, hardening in that area, and that whole condition will be called chronic sclerosing non-suppurative osteomyelitis of Gar. Okay? This is the common sequence of osteomyelitis, pyogenic osteomyelitis. Sometimes instead of bone being formed, you will have new fibrous tissue or granulation tissue covering the necrotic area that will form Brody's abscess. Yeah, for sometimes you can have osteomyelitis of vertebral column. Okay? Vertebral bodies will get impacted and they will get affected by osteomyelitis. So those are the pathological changes of your pyogenic osteomyelitis. Now coming to complications, what can happen with osteomyelitis? Osteomyelitis may result in other complications. One, it can lead to spreading of infection to the blood. Okay, अगर nearby blood vessels, now you have blood vessels that are going to the bone as well, वहाँ पर infection हो रहा बोला तो there is a chance that the bacteria can travel from the bone or the necrosed area or the infected area into the blood vessel, into the nearby blood vessel. That will lead to septicemia. Okay. Initially, you'll have bacteremia where there are a few bacteria. As time goes by, if you are not treating it, septicemia will occur. Okay, large number of bacteria in the blood. You can have acute bacterial arthritis. So it will go into your joints and cause inflammation, bacteria, or they can be squamous cell carcinoma. In some patients, development of squamous cell carcinoma is seen with osteomyelitis. Sometimes there can be secondary amyloidosis. Amyloidosis is a condition in which there is a very special protein called amyloid protein. That protein starts getting accumulated all around the body in every organ, and that will cause complication in whichever organ it is affecting. Okay, for example, it is affect agar liver ko affect kara, there will be amyloid protein that is getting accumulated in the liver, and the function of the liver will get impaired. Similarly, if it is affecting kidney, brain, whichever area it is affecting. सेकेंडरी इसलिए बोल रहे बिकॉज इट इज स्टार्टिंग ऑफ एज ऑस्टियोमाइलिटिस एंड इट इज ट्रिगरिंग amyloidosis. ठीक है, और इट कैन लीड टू वर्टिब्रल ऑस्टियोमाइलिटिस. वर्टिब्रल. Okay, so that is about pyogenic or suppurative kind of osteomyelitis. Now I hope you understood. If you have any doubts, please feel free to ask. Now coming to tuberculous osteomyelitis. This is basically tuberculosis that is spreading to your bones. All right. The progression will also be similar. Generally, what happens is the patient has most often the patient has primary tuberculosis of the lungs, which is disseminating hematogenously, spreading through your blood into the bones, and it is extending to all around your body. Okay. It can be pulmonary, gastrointestinal tuberculosis that is spreading to bone. Rarely what will happen is it will directly come to bone, very rarely. Now the most frequent types of bones or skeletal structure that get affected because of tuberculous osteomyelitis will include spine and bones of extremities. So spine and so your toes, basically fingers and toes, at frequently affected, okay, by tuberculous osteomyelitis. Now, the pathological changes that you see inside the bone will be similar to tuberculosis. You will have an area of caseating necrosis, central caseating necrosis, which is surrounded by granulation tissue. Okay? So, for example, let's suppose this is the surrounding granulation tissue, and you will have caseating necrosis in the center. Okay? Cheese-like necrosis that is occurring in the center. Now, this is occurring in the bone. ठीक है, if it is affecting the bone, अगर tuberculous osteomyelitis है, then tuberculosis is occurring inside the bone. All right, and it will start replacing normal bone tissue. There'll be focal destruction of the bone and replacement of normal tissue of your bone with caseating necrosis, with caseating material. All right, sometimes you will have discharging sinuses where these caseating necrosis or pus might start discharging. All right, especially through soft tissue or through skin, it will start diffusing out, okay, discharging out. Now, sometimes tuberculous osteomyelitis can also involve joint spaces or intervertebral discs. Okay? That can lead to, which is leading to arthritis, or it is leading to spinal tuberculosis, yeah, vertebral tuberculosis जो बोलते हैं. ठीक है? You will have what do you call miliary TB, the what do you call the small millet-like structures that occur on the bone, and there will be as a result of this, see, if your bone tissue is getting replaced by such caseating necrosis, the integrity of your bone is gone, meaning it is not as strong anymore. So the patient will become much more susceptible to fractures, especially if it is occurring in the spine. The patient will have compression fractures. Okay, intervertebral discs will get destroyed, and there will be compression fractures. Compression fractures will look like this. Let's suppose आपका normal vertebra ऐसा है, ठीक है. Let's draw two vertebrae like this, ठीक है. And let's suppose this is the intervertebral disc present in between them. You will have a cartilaginous disc present in between all vertebrae, so that there is no friction when it bends and all. ठीक है. यहाँ पर compression fracture की वजह से these both are literally compressing into each other. ठीक है, there will be destruction of cartilage, and ultimately what will happen is they will fuse. That is why generally in elderly patients as well, in elderly patients you can see compression fractures with age. Okay, the other day when I was telling you about osteoporosis, I told you senile osteoporosis mein compression fracture ki wajah se, especially of the vertebrae, people will literally bend down, their height will decrease, it will seem like they have gotten shorter, but that is because of compression fractures of their spine. ठीक है, so these vertebrae will literally fuse. Okay, they'll fuse improperly, and this is because of the compressing load. Their integrity has decreased and they have compressed into each other. Okay, this will be completely destroyed, the cartilage gets completely destroyed and they get compressed. That is why this area will not be mobile anymore. Okay, they'll invariably bend in that area, they cannot use that area as flexibly as they used to when they were young or when their bones were healthy. Okay, so that is tuberculous osteomyelitis. Now coming to arthritis. So we have completed osteomyelitis. Now arthritis can also be called osteoarthritis. We specifically be talking about osteoarthritis first. There are several different types of arthritis for you. We'll start off with osteoarthritis. Osteoarthritis is also called what do you call osteoarthrosis. Okay. Now this is basically a degenerative joint disorder, okay, or degenerative joint disease, and it is very common. Uh, it is a very common form of synovial joint disorder. Okay, this is also called osteoarthrosis. Okay, it will mainly affect weight bearing joints, so hips, yeah, knees, yeah, spine, back, basically all of those will get affected. And synovial joints, especially if it is a chronic disorder, it will start affecting your synovial joint severely. Okay, it will be progressively degenerating your joint, in the sense that what you will see is articular changes. Okay, in the joint especially, cartilage gets affected. Articular cartilages jo rehte, the cartilage that is present in your joint, especially main joints in your knee, in your shoulder, those joints will start degenerating, especially in the knee. Okay, you can have two main types of osteoarthritis. There is primary and secondary. Primary osteoarthritis, so we have two types. We have primary and we have secondary. Primary osteoarthritis will occur in elderly, and it is more common in women. Okay, as they age, elderly and women, postmenopausal women especially, because how should I put it, estrogen has a osteoprotective effect in a way. After menopause or during menopause or very close to menopause, the bone integrity starts going down. Especially postmenopausal women will have a lot of bone problems. Okay, they will have to take supplements and all. And elderly, as they age, both men and women, they will have a higher likelihood of developing osteoarthritis. Will simply be say, inflammation of their joint, especially of their knees. Now, osteoarthritis mainly occurs bilaterally, meaning it will occur in both the joints. अगर knee में हो रहा तो दोनों knees में होता. Now, it can also occur as a secondary form. Secondary osteoarthritis is generally it can occur at any age. ठीक है? It is a manifestation of some other disease which is causing osteoarthritis. So it can be an infection, or it can be cancer, or it can be any other cause that is leading to secondary osteoarthritis, which can occur at any age. Okay, primary mostly occurs in women and in older people. Secondary can occur at any age, and you will see the most conspicuous signs of secondary arthritis in large joints, your knees, hips and back. Now, the pathological changes that are occurring with arthritis, or specifically with osteoarthritis, there will be three main changes. One is articular changes, articular cartilage changes. The adjacent bones near those articular cartilages, articular structure मतलब joint है, ठीक है, तो जो joint के cartilage रहता, that will get affected. First thing. Second thing, the adjacent bones near the bones that are present around those cartilages, that will get affected. Then the synovium itself, ठीक है, so pathological changes. First change, articular cartilage. ठीक है, the cartilage present in the joint. इसको क्या होता, as osteoarthritis occurs, you will see that there is degenerative changes in the cartilage. The cartilage will literally regress. ठीक है, there is what you call degeneration of the cartilage, and you will have loss of cartilaginous matrix. So the amount of cartilage literally comes down. ठीक है, ultimately in advanced stages of osteoarthritis you will see that these articular cartilages, they'll be completely diminished. You'll not see any cartilage altogether. ठीक है, which is very bad. See, this cartilage is acting as a shock absorber in a way. It is making sure that there is no friction when you move around, especially in the weight bearing joints. Whenever this cartilage is destroyed, there will be a lot of friction whenever you move, and it will cause a lot of inflammation and pain. Okay, now यहाँ पर there is progressive loss of cartilage, ठीक है, or cartilaginous matrix. It becomes worse with age. Okay. Then the second change that you will see is in the bone, the adjacent bone that is present near this thing. Now, generally, what happens is subchondral bones that are present directly under this cartilage, they will become polished because there is direct contact between bone to bone. अब समझो आपका knee joint ही ले लो, ठीक है? Let's suppose this is one part of the bone, or one second, one part of the bone, another part of the bone. You have synovium, ठीक है, and you have cartilage in between. ठीक है, I'll draw cartilage a little different. Let's suppose this is the cartilage. ठीक है, cartilaginous tissue इधर है and cartilaginous tissue इधर है. ठीक है. Now what is happening is, as this vertical cartilage starts getting degenerated, let's suppose layer by layer this is disappearing, and ultimately what will happen is there will be direct contact between bone and bone. Because of this, your bones will literally look like polished ivory. Okay, because of the continuous friction whenever you move. Now you will have to move at some point of time, even if it is painful, you will have to move. As this keeps on occurring, you will see that the bones will get denuded, meaning there will be regression of the bones. You will see literally them attaching together, and there will be regression of the bone, and they will become ivory like. They will be shiny and polished ivory like. You will see that if you look closely microscopically, there'll be a lot of osteocytic death. Okay, osteocytes that are responsible for formation of bone, they will die, and osteoclastic activity will be increased. Osteoclasts are bones that are osteoclasts are cells that are responsible for resorption of the bone, that will damage the bone. Okay, so there is increased osteoclastic activity and what you call death of superficial osteocytes, death of OS. ठीक है, osteocytes. और one second, osteo कैसा लिखना, hello, this is classed. ठीक है, increased osteoclastic activity and death of osteocyte. That will see, ultimately what will happen is it will lead to fractures. Obviously, if there is what you call increased osteoclastic activity and death of osteocyte, along with direct um, contact of two bones where it is causing a lot of friction, there will be fractures. Invariably there will be fractures. You will have microcysts being formed. Sometimes you will also have microfractures. Along with major fractures, you will have microfractures as well. They will not be as apparent, but they'll be very painful. The synovium specifically, initially there will be no changes in the synovium. As what do you call, in advanced cases, as the age goes on, or if the secondary condition and the condition worsens, synovial cavity itself, that will have synovitis, chronic synovitis will occur, and you will see villi cells undergoing hypertrophy. Okay, there will be specific hypertrophy of villus cells, villus hypertrophy bolte usko, and you will have low grade chronic synovitis. So that is the third change. Okay, that will occur in the synovium. So you have chronic synovitis plus bullous hypertrophy. Okay, so those are the changes that occur in osteoarthritis. Now, if not treated in time, it will lead to the patient will not be able to move basically. Okay, it will be very very hard for them to move. All right, so we'll continue with rheumatoid arthritis tomorrow. We have rheumatoid arthritis, suppurative tuberculous gouty arthritis. We'll continue about that tomorrow.